How do you wish our society would perceive and treat those with ADHD?
I wish that society understood that having ADHD means we really are working off of a different operating system. Our brains work differently. So you can't expect somebody with ADHD to behave the way that somebody without ADHD would behave. I wish people would let go of the idea that you should be able to, because we don't know enough about the brain, and we don't know what someone should be able to do because they're not us.
Bees Inc. wants to know how you deal with the internal fatigue of masking and that fear of unmasking.
Masking is when you try and suppress your natural state of being and your symptoms so that you can fit in. I'm really lucky that since I have this YouTube channel called How To ADHD, I don't have to mask in my daily life, hardly at all. And I've done that in social situations too. If I feel like my excitement and exuberance gets shut down, I kind of check out. I can't do it. And some people are better at it than others. Some people are really good at masking, but it's, to me, so draining that I'd rather not be there than have to pretend that I'm something I'm not.
Ezra wants to know how discouraging it is to hear adults say things like, oh, they have so much potential, but they're just not applying themselves.
It hurts so bad to hear that, because it feels, when someone tells you you're wasting your potential or you have so much potential, it makes you feel like, even though you're not living up to their standards, it makes you feel like you're wrong for that, which is inaccurate. You are the only one who can judge your own potential. You are the only one who can, live up to your own expectations, and you have to accept yourself for where you are and where you get to. And if that's not all the way to the top of your expectation list and it's only here, that's fine. And maybe you'll get here one day. And if you don't, that's okay.
It can be really hurtful, because then you go your whole life trying to be the person you're supposed to be. You go your whole life trying to be the person you think you're supposed to be, because that's what everybody told you you are. And it was really hard for me when I realized at 31 that I was no longer the person who had so much potential. I was the person who hadn't reached it. That was hard.
Were you able to take a moment and realize that all that potential still was there?
I knew all the potential was still there, but I hadn't reached it. I didn't know how to reach it, and I was out of time, or I was running out of time. I was so behind in life. And I think a lot of people with ADHD do. They feel the weight of, I'm behind, so I haven't done the things that I was supposed to do by now, so now I have to do the things I'm supposed to do now and all the things I should have already done. And we take on more and more in an effort to catch up, I think. And it doesn't go well, because the same things that got in our way then are getting in our way now, and we're trying to do more. So yeah, it's really hard.
Green Thing wants to know why you think so many women slip through the cracks as children in terms of getting a diagnosis.
Young AFAB people, assigned female at birth people, it may manifest in spacing out and just shyness. And so they go completely under the radar, because it just shows up as, a shy little girl, when really it's a kid struggling.
Right, because it's all internalized.
Young AMAB people end up being overdiagnosed because young boys are expected to be hyperactive, and so of course this little boy has ADHD. He's jumping off the walls.
And it's interesting because society does kind of encourage those young boys to be loud and rowdy and roughhouse and whatnot, and then those girls they're encouraging to be more timid, to keep more of those feelings internalized. So that probably explains why it's diagnosed differently between the two.
Because hyperactive AMAB people were kind of the template for the longest time of what ADHD is, that made it extra easy to overlook anyone who didn't have the same symptoms, including AMAB people with different symptoms, like the shyer, the lonelier, the sort of more reserved AMAB people would be written off as young boys with personality disorders, not ADHD.
Are there any aspects to having ADHD that you are kind of thankful for?
The creativity, for sure.
Yeah.
That, and being able to kind of strike up a conversation with people. Learning the art of small talk alongside ADHD makes a huge difference.
Because I am not a fan of small talk.
It's such a pain.
So let's do an example right now. You just met me off the street, you never seen me. Hi, how are you?
Dude, I'm doing great. How are you doing?
I'm doing good.
How's your day been so far?
It's been pretty good.
Unbelievable. Just pretty good? No, come on, give me some details. You gotta have a little bit more.
Damn, and then you hooked me, because then you made me want to talk about myself, and there's nothing I like doing more than talking about myself.
If you get someone to talk about themselves and their interests, you got them.
What do you think is the biggest misconception about those who have ADHD?
It's not that big a deal. It is.
Yeah.
It affects
Yeah.
every aspect of our lives. It affects our ability to regulate our attention, our emotions, our sleep. It affects way more than people realize. And a lot of the things that we blame ourselves for, or blame our friends or family for, our partners, they're not their fault. It's because of the ADHD.
All right, you got 5 seconds to shout out or promote anything you want directly into camera. Go.
Impact Parents, check it out. And Trevor Project.
My Twitch channel, JB Average, or my YouTube channel, JB Average. Hopefully there'll be some cool stuff coming up then.
We have a brand new website, howtoadhd.com. Check it out. Also our YouTube channel, youtube.com/howtoadhd, or support us on Patreon, patreon.com/howtoadhd.
Do not forget to like and subscribe to Anthony Padilla, this glorious human creature in some vicinity nearby. Yes,
Me?
yes, you.
Oh.
Yes.
Okay.
Look at that gorgeous face.
Thank you.
Subscribe.
Thank you so much, Jessica. I feel like I understand the world of ADHD just a little bit more.
You are an incredible interviewer. Thank you. You had the best
you.
questions.
After spending the day with these people with ADHD, I've come to understand just how heavily this disorder can affect every facet of one's daily life, and how important it is to be accepting and supportive of those around you, because you never truly know what may be occurring behind the scenes. See you later. Bye, guys.
Press a like.